Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. I'm responding to some things that were covered in a Podcast of the Lotus Eaters video, and I'm going to link to it below. And if you do not follow Podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you need to follow Podcast of the Lotus Eaters. These guys are great. But some people who are supposedly trans activists, but I say they are perv activists, okay? I make a very big distinction between trans people and pervs, okay? Rachel Levine and Blair White are trans people. Caitlyn Jenner is a trans person. These people are pervs. These are people who dress like hookers and shake their thing in little kids' faces because they get off on it. These are not trans, they're pervs. So these perv activists are all up in arms because Louisiana is making it illegal to get your rocks off doing your sexual activities in front of small children. You're not going to be allowed to twerk in little kids' faces. You're not going to be allowed to have 3-year-olds stuffing dollar bills into your G-string in there with your junk. And they're, we're losing our livelihoods. Oh, funny you weren't upset about the auto parts people losing their livelihoods when BLM torched their business. You weren't worried about all the small businesses being shuttered by the lockdowns. But boy, if some hairy old man who, uses a lot of nair on his chest and wants to grind his crotch into little kids' faces complains that he's going to go out of business, all of a sudden it's a horrible thing. But one of the complaints they're making is that the law against perving in front of little children is vague. And when there was another complaint that banning something that was pretty obviously wrong was vague, was when the partial birth abortion bans were being debated. For those of you who aren't up to speed on this, because the brouhaha was back in the 90s, partial birth abortion is the name pro-lifers came up with for a procedure that was popularized by Martin Haskell. And basically what it is the baby is old enough to be born alive and taken to the NICU. Okay, this was done in babies that were at least 22 weeks gestation, which is the cusp of viability. The baby does have a chance of survival, and if you miscalculate the gestational age and the baby's actually older than you thought, that baby would have a very good chance of survival if you delivered the baby and took it to the neonatal intensive care unit, to the NICU. Okay? And the law was basically you're not allowed to grab the baby by the feet, drag it more than halfway out of mom's body, and then shove a stiff cannula into the base of the skull and suck out the baby's brains. Not allowed to do that. You want to do that? You need to do it to a dead baby. And they're, that's so vague. And that was their complaint. And I'm going to link below to a post where I took some quotes from Leroy Carhart. When he was testifying, he is one of the people who fought against the national partial birth abortion ban. And, his complaint is, I could be trying to just rip a leg off intending to take this living fetus out in chunks. And, at some point during the process, it dies, which is a perfectly innocent and wholesome thing to do. But, I might go to twist a leg off and dang, more than half of the fetus comes out. And what am I supposed to do? Oh my gosh, this puts me in a quandary. I mean, kind of the easy answer to that is don't try to dismember viable fetuses. But, when you're doing something wrong and there's a law against it, all of a sudden it's vague. Yeah.